One winter day, when I was still in elementary school, a beautiful black and white tuxedo cat showed up in my backyard. She was a mother and had brought 3 kittens with her. Naturally, my own mother felt compassionately towards the mama kitty and her babies and left out food for her. Mama Kitty decided to stick around, and with that, she not only gave us 4 mouths to feed daily, but 2 more adult cats showed up to take advantage of the free food. This caused a second litter of 3 kittens. Then, in the middle of nursing her 3rd litter, she disappeared, presumably dead. Somewhere between the arrival of the 2 adults and the second litter, my mom came to the conclusion that she really did not want to have our menagerie grow into an entire colony of cats to take care of. So she purchased a raccoon trap and began to capture, neuter, and release as many of the cats as possible. Now, with the exception of Mama Kitty, I named every single cat who showed up on our back porch. Some of the names I still consider decent, like Ginger and Clove. Some of them I am mildly ashamed of, namely Julius Katzer. And one of them remains my favorite, Calico Jack, the calico cat named after the pirate. They were assigned genders essentially at random from what I remember, based on whether I thought they were probably girls or boys. The only real logic I had was that because Mama Kitty was obviously a girl, the other 2 adults had to be boys. For most of the cats we took in, I was proven completely wrong in my assumptions. It was more as if we trapped, spayed, and released these cats because female cats are spayed instead of neutered, and they were all female. All but one. When the vets spaying our feral cats heard about Calico Jack, they immediately assumed that he was in fact a she, since male calico cats are very rare. However, I remained certain that he was a boy cat, and after we finally managed to take the feline in question in, it was the vet who was proven wrong, and he was neutered successfully. That was it for a while. I was proud to be correct for once, but life moved on. Slowly, one by one, the cats disappeared, presumably dead. Sometimes they would go away for a while and show back up again, but that has not happened for a long while. To this day, only one cat still remains with us, Clove, from the second litter. Then, one faithful middle school day spent enjoying my interests on the internet, I discovered someone who did not like the children's book series about cats, Warriors, and then proceeded to have many discussions about it. Despite it being one of my favorite series, I thought she was a pretty cool person, and I enjoyed how she wrote, so I ended up reading a lot of what she and her friends had to say. Now, for those of you who have never read, or maybe even heard of Warriors, it is about the lives and adventures of 4 colonies of feral cats, and one of the critics' minor complaints was that the authors continued to thoughtlessly add in male characters who had either tortoiseshell or calico fur patterns. Apparently, that is a genetic impossibility due to the way cats inherit fur colors, with the exception of a few rare conditions that almost always render the cats infertile. I won't go into detail on the specifics of why tortie toms are highly improbable here, but needless to say, I was fascinated enough to actually study cat fur genetics. It took me a few years to truly make the connection. Wait a second, I thought. Calico Jack was a calico cat. How did he inherit 2 fur colors? Well, it was technically 3, but white fur is a completely different matter to discuss. Then I realized, oh, cool! I got to see one of those rare exceptions. He probably had Klinefelters or something. But wait, does that mean he was infertile? Didn't we get him neutered? So I went to my mom and she confirmed that yes, Calico Jack was found to be fertile shortly before we took that from him. Revelations were had that day. For years, I had a walking miracle living next to me. Well, miracle is an exaggeration, but I sure had something special right there, and I didn't even realize it. True, I thought Calico Jack was a pretty cool cat, but I never truly appreciated him for what he was until after he presumably got eaten by half-starved coyotes. What other amazing things am I missing out on because I simply don't know any better? I want to witness miracles, but how do I know I have not already seen them and simply not recognized it? I discovered this one in hindsight because I chose to learn for the sake of it, even though cat fur genetics is pretty pointless for me to know otherwise. How am I to know that other seemingly useless pieces of information won't reveal to me even more wondrous occurrences from the seemingly ordinary? As I am writing this chapel talk, I am sitting in my house's guest bedroom, where my cat Persephone has been confined. There isn't much special about Persephone. She's a gray Maine Coon and absolutely gorgeous, and generally she is in a state of being either extremely terrified or somewhat nervous. Yesterday morning, my mom woke me up early with the cat in her arms and almost ready to be taken to the vet, and told me to say my last goodbyes, just in case. Persephone is old, after all, and she has recently been acting quite unlike herself, so who knows what manner of horrible condition she may have that would leave it kinder to simply put her down now. As it turns out, her condition is likely caused by stress, and presumably, at least partially, because one of my dogs likes to sit and block the cat door leading into the garage where her litter box was. The solution is to relocate the litter box and keep her away from the dogs for a while. To do so, she has to be isolated from the rest of the house, and so I sit to keep her company. As I sit here, writing a talk about extraordinary cats, I wonder, do I not love Persephone more than I ever did Calico Jack, even though she is the less special one? And really, out of all the feral cats, my favorite is Clove, a regular brown and white tabby who only stands out because she is presumably the last survivor. Honestly, while it still delights me to think that I knew a wonder like Calico Jack, just because the others aren't amazing does not mean they are worthless. So I must ask, are normal things not miracles too? Isn't knowledge worthwhile, even if it doesn't necessarily apply to everyday life? Personally, I believe the answer to both is yes, they are. Even if you don't realize that the people and things around you are special, you can still appreciate them for what they are now, before they are presumably eaten by half-starved coyotes. Thank you.